Hello folks, I'd like to talk to you today about Heuchera and Heucheras. Heucheras are a native plant in the middle latitudes of North America. When our first settlers came over to this area and they were introduced to it by the First Nations persons, they chewed it. It's used for wounds and it's very astringent, and they called it alum root, which is the most common name. We now call it coral bells because of how the flowers seem to float elegantly above the foliage with the little bell shapes. The coral bells are a real workhorse in a shady part of the garden and in the sun part. They add tremendous spots of color in the shade just from the foliage alone. You can see we go from the chartreuse or limey greens to the almost purple that's so deep it's black here with the licorice and the currant, to burgundies, to the nice greens with the silver scrolls on them. And then we get down to, I have to tell you, these are my favorite: sweet tea, creme brulee, Southern Comfort. I'm sort of partial to this one. Heucheras are very easy to take care of. They're shallow rooted, so they like to have a little bit of mulch. When you plant them, if you amend the hole with a little bit of good soil, mulch with a good mulch, maybe add some compost, they should be fine. Winter care is to make sure they're covered in mulch because of the shallow roots. They tend to frost heave a little bit. And a very interesting part about the Heuchera is that as they grow, the crowns here raise up out of the ground. So every 3 or 4 years when you divide them, you need to rebury them. But they're very easy to do that. Just use a sharp knife. The best time is to do it in the fall when the soil is nice and warm, so there's lots of time for the roots to reestablish themselves before the winter comes by. Usually you'll see Heucheras, Heucheras in with your shade-loving plants like the astilbes and hostas, ligularias, any spot where you need a really nice spot of color that's going to perform all year long. How to select a proper Heuchera: if you'd like to attract hummingbirds, they really enjoy these. It's a nice food source towards the end of spring. They're also deer resistant. Simply take your color palette, pull the color wheel, and find one that matches. Every one of these will be really nice, and in the afternoon you can either enjoy your sweet tea or have a little sip of Southern Comfort.